Um, George Rose, a massive day for you guys. It's almost where do we start? Tim Tszyu, Murtazaliev has been made official, so we'll start there. You must be pretty happy about that news.
Yeah, look, I've been hanging to tell you this. I wanted to give you the exclusive the other day. I couldn't even get it out. That's what happened. I couldn't get it out the other day to give it to you either. But really exciting, awesome for Tim. Another new venue for him to get to showcase his wares at. Looking forward to heading to Orlando and putting the king back on his throne where he belongs.
What has been happening over the last few weeks since that sort of, rumors that he was mandated a few weeks ago? What's the last few weeks looked like for you guys?
Well, to be honest, it's been really good, respectful conversations. Yeah, it's been really good, to be able to working with PBC and working with Murtazaliev and his team. It's been it's been a lot more pleasant than you might think. So we got to a good result. I think it's a very, very fair result. We're fighting in Orlando, neutral territory, and we're fighting for the IBF World Title. So we're really happy with how it's all panned out, and we're looking forward to getting there.
A lot of people have been wondering why Orlando, why Florida. What is the reason behind that?
Why not, Jay? Why not? Ask yourself that. Why not? When you can go to you can go to Florida. You can go to Florida in October. Why not? Um, look, it's another venue, another place. Tim Tszyu doesn't care where he fights. I don't care where we take it. As long as Tim's happy, we can create a great event no matter wherever we go. So I think Orlando's a great destination. It's a chance for everybody in Florida to get to see Tim Tszyu live and get to see what he does. And it's a chance for me to go to Disneyland.
You had a chance to speak to Tim today. He would have known this news was coming, but I guess what's his mindset and what's your mindset going into this fight?
Well, for Tim, man, he's pumped. I love the initial conversation with him when we lock something in because he's an absolute ball of energy, and he's a guy who um, he wants to fight anyone. He will fight anyone. But when you get him a world title, that's even better. So he deserves to be fighting for world titles. He's absolutely the best in the division, and he deserves to be fighting for world titles. So I'm really glad that we're able to lock that away and get that done. And for Tim Tszyu to soon become the IBF World Super Welterweight Champion, it puts him back where he belongs, and then he can fire shots at absolutely anyone in the division because there's so many great fights for him out there. And my mindset, I just want to put on a great event. I want to put on another great show. Tim's headlining again on Amazon. It'll be a huge card here to showcase in Australia. We know that he'll have great support back here at home. It's at that right time of year too. I was saying earlier, it's a lot of people follow the footy here in Australia, and when the footy season finishes, the next few weeks it just feels a little bit empty. You start craving some contact and start craving some exciting sport. And for everyone here in Australia, that's going to be that perfect time to get a little bit of Tim Tszyu back in their life. And that's one thing that I'm really glad that we've been able to do is to time it to perfection for that, and everybody will get their fix of contact and high entertaining boxing.
It's almost like this belt is like the roadblock for Tim in those mega fights. Like if he gets this belt, then all those doors open up. And is it hard for you guys not to look too far ahead at the opportunities that will come if he is to win this
Uh,
fight?
Look, it's silly for us to not look ahead. We are absolutely looking ahead. Tim is absolutely focused on this IBF World Title, but we at No Limit we're well and truly focused on the next five steps and getting that belt back in his hands. Well, getting the new belt in his hands, I should say, is the first step in all of those things happening. And we it was disappointing not only for us and for Team Zoo, but for all of Australia when Tim lost his belt to a freak accident. It had absolutely nothing to do with his skill set or his capability in that ring. It was an absolute freak accident that occurred in his last fight, and as a result, he lost the belt. And right now, he's had to. Well, we've all clawed our way back to be in this position to fight for a world title. And once he's got that belt again, he's just lining them up one by one by one. And there's some great fights. I know there's like they're dead set mouth-watering fights. They're people that a few years back we would never would have thought that we'd be sharing sharing a headline, sharing a ring with them, and we're going to be doing it.
Source Fundora talks of him being mandated to defend his belt against Terence Crawford. Do you think that fight happens? And if it does happen or if it don't happen, do you think Tim will look for that Fundora rematch and perhaps the winner of that fight goes in and fights Crawford for undisputed? Are those sort of the possibilities for Tim?
The boxing politic balls will just keep on rolling. The beauty of us with Tim Tszyu is that Tim Tszyu says, we've locked in this fight for him October 19. He said, that's great. As soon as I get through this unscathed, I want to be locked in again this year. I want to fight again this year. So for Tim, Tim will be fighting 3 more fights before any of these guys are stepped back in the ring. If it's one of them, then that'll be the next fight. These guys are sitting here getting caught up in politics and waiting for their opportunities. But Tim Tszyu's fighting, so Sebastian, he'll be coming. Terence, he'll be coming. Errol, he'll be coming. Erickson, Jamel, who else? Like there's so many great fights. There's so many great fights there, and if these guys want to get in the ring and want to be active, Tim Tszyu will happily accommodate absolutely every one of them.
Sam Goodman, Inoue's fight last night against TJ Dehenny. Did you see that fight? What did you make of his performance?
Yeah, look, it was a disappointing finish. Great for TJ and the team to get that opportunity. Really stoked for them to get that opportunity and be over there. Great to see Tony's head back on TV over in Japan. It was fantastic. But it was a fight and a result that I think it wasn't the fight. It wasn't the fight for Inoue. The fight for Inoue is Sam Goodman. And I think Sam will make a very good, very tough opponent for Inoue, and they're confident that they've planned and they've got the strategy to beat Inoue, and I'm excited for that. He's a guy that's a once in a generation talent that you don't think that anyone's ever going to beat, and the fact that we've got a great Aussie fighter capable of beating him and capable of getting that opportunity. I can't wait for Sam Goodman to get in that ring and showcase what he can do.
What sort of talks happened between now and then? Have talks started? How are things tracking there?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been talking to Mr. Honda and Inoue's team, and we'd love for Sam to be that next fight, and we'll absolutely push for that to happen. And Sam's ready. Sam will be ready to go. So he wants to get in. I love that Inoue is active. I love that he wants to fight and that he wants to take on all challenges. And I don't think that you can get a better challenge in the division than Sam Goodman. Sam Goodman has earned the title of Mr. Mandatory. He's earned the right to have that fight. He's taken on a lot of tough opponents and put in some fantastic performances. So the guys that Sam has beaten recently are guys that were, that I think would really have given Inoue a tough time. And now he's got Sam Goodman coming, and I think Sam Goodman is the one who can really unlock the secret code to beat the monster.
Nikita Tszyu, impressive performance last week against Koa Mazzutia. Were some critics said that he got hit too much and that sort of stuff. How did you assess Nikita's performance, and do you see some, I guess, validity in those criticisms?
Yeah, look, you'd love to see a perfect performance from your fighter in every fight. You'd love to see them not get hit once and land absolutely everything beautifully. It's boxing. That doesn't happen. Kyle Mazzuti is a fantastic opponent. He's a very, very talented fighter. He's pushed everybody that he's been in the ring against. He's pushed them to give their best performance just to be able to compete against them. And I think he done another good job of that against Nikita. He showed his talent, and Nikita showed signs of where he's headed with his boxing strategy, with his boxing ability. He showed signs of where he's headed there, but in true Nikita fashion, he still refuses to give us a nice, easy night at the office where we can just kick back and watch him. We haven't seen it, I don't think, since the Ben Bomber fight, where I'd barely settled into my seat and he finished the fight for us, and that was great. But what he does now is he takes everybody on a journey, takes us all on a roller coaster, and he does get hit. He does get hit, but he bounces back, and he's faced every bit of adversity that he can in the ring at the moment in such a young professional career. He's shown so much of what he's capable of doing, and I do think that he will get better over time. We've got to remember that he's still very raw back on the pro scene after such a long break from boxing, and he's going to continue to grow. So I think the exciting thing for all of us is that Nikita's just going to keep getting better. He's going to learn from every fight. He'll learn from every experience, and he'll keep getting better.
Hand injury. Is that true? Is there any update on that?
Yeah, I don't have an update. He did get injured from the fight, but so that's disappointing that it puts him out of action for a little bit. We'll wait for an exact timeline on that. But Nikita, as soon as he's ready, he's just the same. He loves being active. He loves being in the ring, and we'll get him straight back in as soon as he's ready and he's confident that he's good to put that hand to use again.
Was talks about Michael Zerafa and Nikita Tszyu in the ring. Obviously, a wild and controversial fight week last week for Michael Zerafa and his team. Just your reflections, I guess, on the aftermath of his fight and I guess an update on that ban that you guys put out as well.
Yeah, look, I think firstly for Michael Zerafa's performance, a guy who stepped into the ring fighting for a world title on the back of a lot of inactivity, took a loss in the world title fight, was taking this fight to bounce back and get his confidence back and show to Australia that he's ready to go again. I think absolute kudos to him for getting back in the ring and showing that he's ready to back up any talk that he has. He's ready to bounce back. He looked fit. I thought he looked very aggressive to start the fight, and I think that was one of the big criticisms about him in his world title fight was that he didn't look to engage. He didn't look like he wanted to be a part of it, and I think in that fight on Wednesday night he showed that he did want to be a part of it. He wanted to engage. He wants to talk the talk. He believes everything he says, and he wanted to get in the ring and back that up. And I think that's all you can ask for from a fighter. Is that if you talk the talk, you get out there and you walk the walk. And I thought that he showed signs of that. I thought it was building towards being a really exciting fight. Unfortunately, Tommy Brown got the injury at the end of the first round and had to retire injured. And so that was really disappointing because I think we're really, building towards a great fight. And then, of course, the actions after the fight, we don't condone at all. This is something that we don't want at No Limit Boxing fight nights. And on the back of that, we'll be changing a lot of things that happen ringside for us and access that fighters and teams will get. And we'll definitely uphold that lifetime ban for Zarafa's brother. He won't be allowed at any No Limit Boxing fight nights going forward. That's not something that we want. Boxing is such a tough sport for everybody involved, whether you're a promoter, whether you're a trainer, a fighter, whatever. It's such a tough sport. And for us to always be constantly trying to, bring on new fans and let people know that it's a safe and enjoyable night where you get to see Australian boxing at its best. That's something that doesn't push that message, and that's something that we won't stand for. And we'll continue to do that in the future. We won't have his brother attending any fight nights. He's absolutely banned.
What do you think's the next for Michael? Could we see Zerafa versus Cohen Mazudia, perhaps?
Oh well, look, it's all going to depend on the timeline of Nikita. Like I said, I thought Zarafa did a great job of showing where that fight was heading. I think he still looks very classy. I think he still looks very, very classy, and I'd love to see him and Nikita in the ring. You know, I think it'd make for a really great, entertaining fight. Depending on what that timeline ends up being, you know, Cole Mazzuti has got a lot of great opportunities that still lie ahead for him as well. I always love working with Cohen. I thought he was fantastic again this time around, both to work with as a professional, his preparation. I thought he did everything he could to win that fight, and he came up very narrowly short. So there'll be still opportunities ahead for Colin Mazudia and for Michael Zerafa as well. We would look at getting him back in the ring definitely.
And I saw today news that you guys won a purse bid for Janibek Mikhailovich. Can you sort of shed some light on how that all transpired?
Yeah, look, it was a funny one. You know, we sat around talking all night about what's our number going to be, and purse bids are such a tricky thing. You know, there's times where we've gone into a purse bid feeling really confident and got blown out of the water by hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's other times where we've overshot the mark massively as well, and this time around it was just like we almost went 325, and um, we thought, no, well, look, there's a chance that they might go 350. If we're going to go that big, let's just go one more. So we've gone 351, and we got there. So it was yeah, it was pretty funny to wake up. So I didn't sit up for the conversation. Matt had to sit up for the actual purse bid, and when we won it, I woke up to the news that we'd won it by the narrowest of margins. We won it by $1,000. So it was yeah, it was a great way to start the day, and but not only that, I'm excited for Andrei Mikhailovich.
I guess, where do you see that fight landing? Is it something that happens here? Does it happen in New Zealand? What do you got planned for that?
Yeah, look, I think we do it here. You know, what we've built here as a platform in Australia is that we've got such a good fan base, such a good support base. People are turning up to fights, people are tuning in on TV. So we'll absolutely be putting it on here in Australia, and looking forward to having that fight as a as one of our cards in the very near future.
What else, mate? Wildfighter show in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Any word on that?
Yeah, look, it's good. We've got another No Limit on Fox show coming up, so great opportunity for everybody to be able to tune in and watch another great free night of boxing. Um, we've got some decent matchups on that one too, and I'm excited to be doing the show with Will Tomlinson and Wildfighter. I think they do a great job down there in Victoria, and we always want to be able to get the chance to get back down to Melbourne and do more shows. We enjoyed our time there last time around, and I'm really excited about getting back down there again. I think it's a great boxing city, and I don't think yet that they've really been able to get the chance to get right behind boxing like they should. And there's a lot of talent coming through in Melbourne, and we are excited to be able to showcase that on the Wildfighter card on No Limit on Fox.
Last one. What's sort of the thinking there? Is it just too hard to put shows on consistently by yourself? What's sort of the business model there?
Look, it's a few things. One is timing. One is timing. We was looking to do a show down there. We were hoping to do a show down there. We wanted to do a No Limit on Fox event, and Will's always looking for more opportunities to showcase what he's doing. So like I said, I like what Wildfighter do. They put a lot of work into their shows. They've got some great talent as well, and so for us, we're all about making a good night of fights, and as long as we can put together a really good night of fights, it's something that that if it goes well, we will definitely look at doing it more often in the future.
Beauty. Thank you so much, George. Always appreciate your time, mate.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mate,